I just want to make one point here. It sounds very appealing from a control perspective, from a brand perspective, from efficiency perspective. I just want to tell you it sounds easier than it is. It's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of research. So just putting that out there. And then I've got to ask, do you know what is required to facilitate that change? Because it's so easy to think about a brand and the value a brand can add. I can tell you this from my experience. In order to develop a flagship for a client will generally take between 3 and 4 months. Seriously.
Is that just the conceptualization or the actual development of
both? Because remember, now because it's brand linked, directly linked, because of the control, because of the risk, because of the efficiency, because of the buy-in and support that's going to be linked to a flagship, the research just on understanding where's the opportunity. Let me give you an example. I always use the Outsurance Pointsman program. So imagine what had to go in the development of that process. How did they come up with Pointsman? It's just like, now it's very easy for us to think about it, but at that time when they developed, what must have been their thought process to get to that? Now let me explain to you how that actually came about. So here is what we know in Johannesburg. If the power goes out, the traffic lights don't work. What happens if the traffic lights don't work? Chaos. Okay, apart from chaos, just think about all the accidents. So what happens when there's accidents and there's a power failure? They can literally track how much money they've got to pay out. They can literally, they've got that information. So the question was, here's a business problem. It's costing us money. What is the least we can do with the biggest value? It's very clear. Now the point that I want to make is, it sounds very clever afterwards, but it took a lot of actuaries, a lot of buy-in and support. The marketing agency had to come on board. The advertising agency had to come on board. They had to sell it to get to that. Then, in designing this whole process, you've got to be clear on how we're going to measure the value as well. Because remember, now you in-source, you design, so you take on, although you're looking for control, although you're looking for efficiency, you still got to measure this thing. You still got to be able, it's not just PR value. So they had to look at the cost savings that the Pointsman will bring about. They had to look at the social value in the number of jobs they can create. They had to look at the economic value, not just on savings and accidents and the whole vehicle repair industry and the Joburg Metro Police and all of that had to go into that design of that approach. So the point that I want to make is, until they understood what is the change, how are we going to change, what are the mechanisms, what is the budget, how are we going to communicate that, and remember, now we can't blame an NGO if this doesn't work, because we've decided. I can also share with you many of these flagship programs that have come and gone. After the first 3 months of TV commercials, they're just gone. So I do want to make a point. It is expensive. Don't think it's cheaper. Do not think it's cheaper. But there's generally a very specific reason why you think a flagship or a signature program will give you greater value. Generally.
Can I just, Rihanna, if you had to define a flagship project?
Yes.
What do you regard as a flagship project?
A flagship has got multiple purposes. Where in your theory of change you're very clear about a social change you want to make. Your expectation around a flagship is so much bigger. You want to, I almost want to say, attack multiple aspects. So this is not generally a systems change. It's generally a faultiness in a specific aspect. So you expect of a flagship to tick many more boxes because you've designed it purposefully. So your expectations are so much greater around it. So it's a flagship for me is a purposeful designed thing. And you could put boundaries around it. You don't have to insource all flagship, but generally a flagship gets designed because of you want to do brand, you want to do control, you think it's cheaper, you want to involve the whole business, there's very specific reasons why it's developed.
And a very strong business.
Very strong business, yes.
Duration, maybe, in terms of longevity, how long should it last?
I generally find them rather short term. Rather short term. No. I'm talking very seldom. I'm trying to find a program that is old, a flagship that is older than 24 months. Because effectiveness drop off over time. Because once it's out there, and then people are like, okay, what's the next thing?